Only money, only money, only money.
God, spoken.
Let the money bless you with body, oh baby. Oh. Star boy go bless you with money, oh.
All right. So it's Ra and
Haji.
so we're back from the movie.
Tired. Very
Yeah,
tired.
as you can tell. I don't know. I'm really neutral about this. But one thing I will say, can you believe it? Oh, well, just kind of like an alert. There's going to be some spoilers in here because I just need to get all my emotions out.
150%.
It opened with him about to kill Thor. Just like this guy predicted. Did you watch, did you read some stuff?
No, I just know that's how they were sending that nigga up.
I was blown. I was
You
like,
gotta
there's
pay
no
attention
way.
to
After talking about it, and then the first thing, literally the first 2 minutes of the movie is Thor basically about to fucking die. I was so fucking blown.
Telling you, the plot points are there, y'all. They're building that nigga to die.
Whatever.
I mean, for those, like you said, spoilers, but for those who have watched the movie, we know nobody died at the end, but I do believe, he's the one that's getting slated to get,
Loki died.
to get killed. No, I mean, I'm talking about, Thor didn't die. Sorry, that's what I should have said.
Yeah.
Thor didn't die.
That was very painful for me, by the way.
I'm pretty sure they're setting that up. He does too many things, like his complaints with, when he was sitting there crying about, well, he wasn't crying, but, when he was, reminiscing about all the shit he's basically been through, really within just one movie. Because all the serious stuff happened to Thor in one movie. Because all the stuff he talks to that woman. But anyway, so he's, reminiscing on that stuff, and I'm just thinking, this guy really has nothing to go back to. So he's, the perfect martyr. Because you think about it, Iron Man, he has a family to start. That's how they're going to kill him off. It's basically okay, Iron Man, you've done what you did. You've actually grown Peter Parker to a Avenger level person, you know what I mean? Because he's kind of mentoring him right now. So it's he's going to be okay, cool, I want to actually have a life with Pepper. Because Pepper was oh, you still got that thing on. So they already seasoned that's how he's going to leave. Captain America, it looks like he's still going to be involved.
He has issues.
It looks like he's still going to be involved, but he likes playing from the shadows right now. Because he has his covert team and people doing stuff. So I feel like they might just let them continue to be them.
I was telling
Alaji,
I don't like him as much as I used to.
Captain America?
Yes.
He didn't really do
something
much
about
here.
his character is just off. When the screen goes off at the end and the credits come on, I'm missing him. He was one of my favorite characters. I don't feel that way anymore. He's every time it gets to his part, it's just okay. Next scene. I don't know. But aside from that, back to Loki. What were you about to say?
Oh, I don't think they put any shine on Captain America in this movie.
No, they didn't. He's in his dark place. He's in this emotional state. I just don't understand. He's very dark.
I didn't take it as emotional.
He's very dark.
He got everything he wanted.
Him and Stark need to be best friends again.
Yeah, maybe.
And get over whatever he's going through. This bromance that is broken, they need to fix it so he can go back to
I guess
himself.
that's what might be.
Because he's supposed to be this ray of hope and sunshine, Captain America. And he's just so depressed now.
I think that might be what they explore in the next movie then. Because this one, he didn't really.
He didn't shine at all.
He didn't do much. His character didn't really do a whole lot. He didn't say a whole lot. And
granted, there was
behind it.
A handful of stars in this movie, so it's how does any one person shine?
They did a very good job of actually making you. I was surprised at how they're going to do that with that many stars, with that many characters we cared about. But they actually did a great job seasoning. We got a good amount of Guardians of the Galaxy moments.
Hilarious. They were perfect. They were a perfect addition.
The groups they had and the side stories. I didn't even think the Thor group Rocket thing was going to work. That was actually a really good match. The Peter Quill and meeting Iron Man, that whole banter was great. They did a very good job of giving us the time we needed with each of those characters. That's why I don't think it's fair. They did that specifically for Captain America. They just didn't give us time with him. Because even, the whole Wakanda scene, I like the Okoye fight. They were just kind of there for battle purposes. The only person on the Wakanda battlefront that got shine was the Hulk. That was the only person they really paid attention to.
The Hulk.
T'Challa didn't say much. He didn't do much either. Like nobody really did or said much.
We just got a decent movie with him. And one thing I would say about the whole like kind of Wakanda cameo, I like that. I like the way they ended with it, and that they ended there and everything, and they were a huge part of. They needed them basically. So I don't know about that. I think that they did well with the whole Wakanda front.
Oh, I didn't have no problems with the Wakanda thing. I just don't think any of them had the same kind of like the same level of banter that we saw with like the Thor scenes or the Iron Man scenes. Really like Doctor Strange in this movie. I was still a little disappointed in what he did with the whole Iron Man decision. I get it, he's a good guy, so we kind of should have expected that. But at the same time, I thought it was stupid for him even saying that and then ended up not doing it. Like, clearly you don't give a fuck about the greater good.
Well, as we discussed before, I didn't cry. I don't know. I'm like, I don't hate it. I don't love it. I'm in this very neutral state. Maybe if I watch it again, like, because I'm a very, like, critical person, maybe then my emotions. But, like, I feel like if I'm going to be emotional, it just needs to happen, like, right away. In the beginning, the whole Loki thing really hurt me. I really, really enjoy Loki's character. I love how he's kind of been changing throughout the movies. And him dying, like, that hurt me a lot, because I feel like he's very relatable as a human being. Like, we all go through these struggles of good and bad constantly. No one is just outright good in their lifetime. You know, you make mistakes. Some other times you're a better person. So for me, Loki was, he kept it real. And I think like he kept people grounded and saying like, I'm selfish, but at the same time, I do care about y'all sometimes. So anyways, that was painful to see him go.
Yeah, on the Loki thing. I mean, I didn't really feel for his death, but I mean, now that you brought up that point about him being like the human character, I think that's very valid, because I think a lot of decisions he make, like if you, now I didn't even think of him from that perspective, but I think if you look at him from that lens, it makes sense why he did a lot of what he did, because it's like, damn, I'm about to get my ass beat by a damn near god. Like, yeah, I think I'm going to try and pretend to be on his side. But I think that for the growth we've seen of Loki's character from beginning to end, it's a good way to die. I thought it was stupid how he died. Like, not the whole neck thing, but the fact that, like, he even tried to, like, stab him under the ground. It's like, I feel like he knew that that wasn't going to work, and I don't think that would have been a very smart move. But I felt like they needed to find something to make him die, but I felt like there was a better execution, because I was
thinking
stupid.
the same thing too.
I'm like, this is not gonna work.
I'm like, Loki is way more tricky and smarter than that. So I feel you on that. I didn't even think about it. I was just more pained that he had to go. But my other kind of emotional tug in the movie was Peter, Spider-Man. Like, that was sad as fuck. I wish I liked him a lot more. No, honestly, because it's been too many Spider-Man movies. You don't really have an emotional tie to any of them. But if I did, that would have been some painful ass shit. Like, that moment between him and Iron Man was rough. I was like, what the fuck is going on, Marvel? Like, that's deep. But other than that, the movie was just, it's neutral for me. I'm not bad, not good. It's just like, okay, let's see what the next one is going to bring. But I will give it to the writers and the producers. That was something. You got people thinking. It's just like, okay, you guys are trying to do something different. Let the villain win for once. But,
what I would say actually is, like, I've always knocked Marvel for being very kiddie with their movies. I like my movies kind of deep and dark. But what I will give them is that I think that this one probably did the best job of going to, like, dark places, I guess. So one of the examples for me I liked was, like, when Thanos and them first kind of showed up. The perspective they kind of gave us. So when Thanos, he shows up on Earth, and then, like, Doctor Strange and Iron Man, all of them are kind of, like, having a conversation. But the way it kind of plays out, I really enjoyed, because I actually felt like I was in the city at that point, the way the camera pulled out. So he, like, Iron Man steps out, and you're kind of, like, looking at it from, like, a person on the ground's vision of, like, all this kind of chaos going on, not knowing where it's coming from. And, like, you get to see somewhat of an effect on, like, this big ass ship, and, like, it landing on just a random city in Earth. Like, you kind of got to see, like, oh yeah, this is kind of, like, fucked up. So I appreciated that they kind of gave us that camera angle or whatever. I felt like it gave the watcher of the movie like a feeling of being in that moment. Like, and then they gave us some time of Iron Man kind of being disoriented, not going into the super stuff just yet, but just like trying to figure out what's going on. Like that's how a regular person would feel in that type of situation. So I thought that was really cool. The only thing, there's so much action going on, it became really easy to notice some of the weird CG stuff here and there. Like towards the end when when Hulk was standing in, Bruce Banner was standing in the Hulk Buster suit, and Don Cheadle was standing in his War Machine suit, you could really see that it was like CG. Like it was awkward to me. I didn't like that. I saw it, but then, but yeah, no, I appreciate it. That was a tangent, but I mean, like, I appreciated how they went deep with the certain scenes. I felt like they usually like scrape over that stuff, but I felt a lot of the different emotions here and there, like the Gamora stuff, like that one I thought was actually pretty deep. They actually try to season Thanos as like a villain. This part really felt like us learning who Thanos is.
It worked,
and it didn't seem like
it wasn't forced. It wasn't like
right. And I didn't feel like Thanos was pure evil. So if you watch any of the other movies, if you watch any of the other movies, he just seems like this like total douchebag. Like this one, I was just like, okay, like he has a goal and he's gonna complete it. Yeah. But I felt like all the other times it was just like, oh, I'm just this evil guy sitting in the chair and I'm just like orchestrating this bad shit to happen. But in that one, it was like, oh, okay, he's like calculated. That's what I wanted. He's he does have a heart. I mean, and he went through some fucked up shit and then kind of figured out how to fix it or whatever. The way he chose to fix it, which was his plan, was I think kind of stupid. But at the end of the day, I still felt for him as like a human being. And that's the other thing that's weird. I don't know about
feeling for him. Do I see where he's coming from? Yes. Do I think that he's not really thinking about it logically? Yes. Mm-hmm. But feeling for him, no. Like,
I guess I'll put it this way: like,
you just an alter.
In most superhero movies, Marvel's been changing that, but in most like superhero type movies, the villain is always just like a really bad person. You know what I mean? Like you just can never sympathize with him. You can never understand what he's saying. Mm-hmm. He just like is literally, his sole purpose is just there to be against the main character.
That's why I think that adults are kind of, but they're making it for adults, and we gravitate towards things being like more abstract and deeper and stuff. Exactly, like when you're watching cartoons, the villain is just the villain. There is no rhyme or reason for it or what may happen. Right. But anyways,
I think Thanos had layers, and that's what I appreciate. And especially for that Marvel movie where they didn't really tend to go too deep, I think he had a couple of good, like, okay, I see where he's going there, and then like the emotion with him and Gamora, like that backstory really helped me feel like, okay, he does kind of like give a fuck about her. It was sad. Yeah. I like that scene. If there's any emotion I felt, was that scene. The flashback of like when he takes Gamora and he's like showing her the weapon or whatever, and then he proceeds to like slaughter half of that race in the background.
That was a
like,
very
I felt that. I was just like, that's
you can
crazy.
See like just kind of this kind of brainwashing happening. You know what I mean? Like it was crazy. You can see her tugging towards that, but then also see her going towards this villain, and you're like, no, girl, like don't go that route.
And then it sucks even more because
how kids are so vulnerable. You know what I mean? And how they can be like turned anyway.
But what's even funnier is that when you find out that Thanos, Gamora is actually the one daughter Thanos loves. You know what I mean? Like completely. And then you think about these like little moments. Like after the Soul Stone scene, I like thought about, okay, well that scene where he took her to his like base or whatever, and then he was like showing her around and she was talking about all the things he hates. It's like, if you think about it, he really loved her. And then she like absolutely hates him with every part of her soul. So if you think about their journey together. As much as he tries
to brainwash her, she still thinks logically and knows like, okay, yeah, you have this purpose, but
I'm saying think about it from Thanos' perspective. When you're
executing it, it's ridiculous, sir.
But I'm saying think about it from Thanos' perspective. Somebody he loves so much.
I don't think
Yeah,
it bugs
couldn't stand
him,
it.
to be
Oh,
honest.
for sure did. Because he was talking about the chair. He was like, oh, you hated the chair. You hated everything about being around me. And I'm thinking he was hoping she would grow out of it and change. But then she didn't.
He gonna be just fine. He gonna be all right.
That was whatever. The other part is like, after watching that, I kind of want a Thanos prequel because I still feel like that one section where we actually saw what Titan looked like.
I would watch that
before it got blown up.
I would definitely watch that.
That scene where we saw what Titan looked like before it got blown up, I felt like it didn't explain to me how the fuck Thanos got so swole.
That'd be dope.
Because I don't understand how he's that strong.
That'd be dope.
But
yeah, one last point before we rate the movie. I just want to say the Hulk-Bruce relationship was hilarious. That was like really good. And I can't wait to explore that in further movies or whatever. I just love them. I love Bruce. I love the Hulk. Especially in the last, what was it, the Thor movie?
Mm-hmm. Ragnarok.
He was great. Really Thor, I mean, Hulk needs his own movie. Like, come on, Marvel. Like, people love him.
I think the best thing for them to do now, if they can figure out all the paperwork to make the Hulk movie, is now that they've shown that Hulk is like a person, because before he was just an angry motherfucker, but now that he like can talk and they have banter back and forth, I think this is a perfect time for them to really do Planet Hulk.
Absolutely.
They kind of already did it with Ragnarok. They hinted that it, like, because for him to be there at that tournament, I felt like that was them saying that, like, Planet Hulk just happened to Hulk, meaning that he already has a kid on another planet. But who knows? Maybe that didn't happen yet, but I think it would be great if they'd explore that. If they're going to give him a solo movie, they should do that. What I will commend them on is that I don't feel like we need one. I would really enjoy it, but for the one character that hasn't got a solo movie in this new Marvel series.
It would be so good though, I think.
But I'm saying like the connection you feel with Hulk and you've never got a solo movie with him, I think is so commendable. No, but I'm saying like he hasn't got a solo movie, but I still fuck with him on the same level I fuck with Iron Man. All these other motherfuckers that got solo movies. And I think they did a good job of doing it. And that's what they were saying, these three, from Thor Ragnarok, this one, and the next one, it's supposed to be like an underlying subplot is like the Thor storyline. So Thor is like getting a movie kind of in here. Oh, sorry, Hulk. Hulk is getting like a mini movie through these three movies. Yeah. Like each part is like telling a different story. So I liked it a lot. I agree with you 100% on that.
All right. So we're going to rate it on kind of like 3 levels, right?
Okay.
So emotional impact. What was it? Action? What's the second one?
Visual was one of them.
Visuals, and what's like the third category? I forgot.
I probably would go
for
like
plot. Content.
I feel like plot works.
Okay, cool. So for me, emotional impact, just because I'm in this neutral state of, it's going to be on a scale of 1 to 10. I'm just going to say 5 with a fluctuation to 7 at certain points, like with the whole Loki.
For emotional?
And and Spider-Man situation. But other than that, like my heart wasn't tugging. Like I know what it's like when my heart is tugging in the movie. Like I would just be sitting there like, oh my God, I can't believe this. On pins and needles the entire time. So for me, it's going to stand at a solid 5. Mm-hmm. For content, I was entertained throughout the entire movie. So I give it like a 7. You know, maybe.
You talking about plot?
Yeah, plot is definitely 7. They did a really good job kind of going through the different teams and everything, making sure that we equally get exposed to everyone and kind of developing their storylines without it seeming, you know, like, it was just good. I don't know how to explain it, but it was just, I'll give it a 7. And then as for, like, visuals, they did a really good job. I'm going to give them a 10 out of 10 for sure.
Okay, for me, I'll start with visuals. Visuals, I probably give it an 8 because of those random weird CGI moments I saw, and I think some of the fight scenes, just was too much going on. It was really hard to tell what was happening. Like some of the things in Wakanda, like when the little monsters were running at people, it's like stuff was happening, but it was happening so fast. I guess it was a part of their like camera angle thing. They're like keeping you in the moment, so you kind of feel like you're there. It was hard to see what was going on. So it was like a double-edged sword. It was good that they're making me feel like I was a part of the movie, but then it was bad because it was hard to see like how certain things was going on, how certain fights was playing out. So I give it an 8 there. Overall it was good, but yeah, there were just some weird things here and there. For emotional impact, I mean, I was talking shit like the whole movie. One of the parts I think is real funny.
He definitely talks to movies.
Wakanda, when they go to Wakanda, like, they should have had the Joe Budden gunshots, bro. Because they were stunting on them regular niggas so hard, bro. Akuye was looking at Hulk like, nigga, you stupid. Like, Shuri was
that was hilarious.
Shuri was just shitting on their whole education. Like, Bruce Banner is like, he built Ultron. Like, he's the key person is the reason why Ultron exists. Like,
but is that content or emotional?
That's like, because I was like, what? I thought it was hilarious. Like, to me, it's not emotional. It's not always the sad thing. It's like, were you happy? Okay. Were you talking shit? So I felt like for them to pull me into the movie, I was talking hell. I was like, yeah, you go, Shuri. Go ahead. Talk that shit to Bruce. I thought that was funny. I thought I was laughing a whole bunch. Peter Quill, like Star-Lord stuff, I was laughing at that. Like, I would give that a solid 8-9 on the emotional things. Probably more of an 8 than a 9. And then the last one, the plot, that one I'm probably going to give a 7. I think they did a good job coloring the villains or whatever and making sure that I felt attached to the right people. And they did a very good job of the team stuff. My only issue is there was like a couple of plot holes, I felt like, which is like times where like I'm like, okay, Doctor Strange, why aren't you teleporting? Like when they was on the ship, I get that they eventually made the plan to go there, but they were making it seem like they were going to have to like turn the ship around. But I was like, nigga, you can just like make that little magic hole thing. Like, what do you mean you've been doing it? And then he ended up doing it when they were fighting Thanos. He was like popping Spider-Man in and out to smack that motherfucker. So that blew me. Thor's late ass blew me. Like, I was like, come on, bro. He beat all of them, the squad. You gonna come at the last minute
my favorite.
To stab him?
Say what you want.
Then you didn't cut his head off. Then you didn't take the glove off. Like, I was like, come on, bro. At least take the glove off. You pretty much bodied him. Like, you had the thing in him. He was, like, sleeping. I would have just been like, let me just take that off real quick. And then I can talk my shit.
He done lost everything.
That's the other plot hole.
To think like,
well, not a plot hole, but that's the other thing. The Peter Quill thing, which I guess also is a plot hole, is like, once you see that nigga get mad,
I love Guardians of the Galaxy, but
Doctor Strange, you better start twisting that nigga out of here.
That was a hot ass mess.
He should have twisted that nigga out of there. I swear to God, he should have just made a hole in the ground.
They're hilarious. Like, no. I love their team. They were an amazing addition to the movie. But Peter,
and then another part. It's really a lot of the plot holes centered around that scene when they were trying to take that glove off. Cut his arm off. And then Iron Man showed that he could turn his freaking weapon into a sword afterwards. And I'm like, so none of y'all thought, like, how about we just cut his hand off? Because we did that to, what's his face, cut that evil guy's hand off.
Yeah, when he
like just teleport away and cut his hand off. So I'm like,
Thanos' kids or whatever.
I know Thanos is strong, but it don't look like he ain't strong enough to get cut.
You know what? We complain, but at the end of the day, it's still a movie and the plot has to continue.
I think that's why I thought it was overall good, but some of them holes was
I think we just nitpicking. I know it's like, oh, why don't you just cut the hem? It's just the same thing as like Dragon Ball Z. Why don't you wish for a dragon?
Look, bro,
you know,
7.
like you just can't.
I'm giving 7 on that on the plot part.
Right.
So
we were equivalent on the plot. I don't agree with you on the whole emotional, but whatever. I guess you could add laughter in there.
So overall, I guess that it's probably a solid 8-9. Yeah. I'm guessing from my perspective.
I mean, it is a Marvel movie, and they kind of have us in this limbo. Am I going to watch the next one? Absolutely. And I have no prediction of what's going to happen. So that is always good when you have the audience always guessing. So
that nigga Don Cheeto super hard.
All right, we gonna end it on that one. But yeah, that was our review of the movie. Let us know what you think. But it's so crazy, like what I thought going in and how I feel coming out. I still can't believe this dude was right, and they opened up with Thor about to die. Like, who does that? So rude.
Some people don't want to believe that I'm a soothsayer, that I be saying the truth.
Anyways, we gonna wrap it up with that. This is Rod and
Haji.
See y'all
next
soothsayer. Time. See y'all next time. Goodbye.
The truth.
Sucker, baby. Sucker. Oh, yeah, give him lock.